Hello, and welcome to another Tools for Motherhood activity series. Today we're going to be creating a pre-writing activity for a 4 to 5-year-old, and the name of the activity is called Play-Doh. Now, we can go to the store and we can purchase a container of Play-Doh, something similar to this, or on a cold winter day, there's nothing better than creating a batch of homemade Play-Doh and playing with it on a cold day and having warm hands as you squeeze out that warm, fresh Play-Doh. So what are the materials that we're going to be needing for this? All right, so first of all, we're going to start off, we'll be needing a cup of flour. We'll also be needing 1/2 of a cup of salt. Next will be some cream of tartar, and with that it will need 2 teaspoons of cream of tartar. Then we'll also need 1 cup of water and 1 tablespoon of vegetable oil. Now with the water mixture, I would recommend at that time when you've got your water mixture in there, go ahead and add some color. And depending on the time of the year would determine, for example, if it's February, I would create some type of red Play-Doh. If it's around Easter time, I would create a yellow Play-Doh. Or if it's March, a green Play-Doh. So you can vary the different colors or mix them together. Remember we talked about in another one of our YouTube videos, creating primary and secondary colors. So if we added red and yellow, what would we make? We could make an orange kind of Play-Doh, which my son would have loved. All right, so gather all your supplies and we'll get started. Okay, so we've gathered all of our supplies. We're in the kitchen. We've got a pot on the stove and we're ready to start adding in our ingredients. Now, the goal of this activity, as I think back on all the things we can create, there is no better way to begin preparing our children's hands for the writing once they get to the classroom than a fresh batch of Play-Doh. My vote as a former teacher, preschool and elementary teacher, would be this Play-Doh. Play-Doh provides a consistency for young children to squeeze and to roll, to mold and to pat. So many different things that increase the hand muscles. As your child plays, the different muscles are being exercised. Also, it reinforces hand-eye coordination as they watch what they're doing. For example, as they're putting little eyes on their little worms. So let's go ahead and get started. In the saucepan, you will begin with your liquid ingredients. So we're starting off with our water. Again, we're doing 1 cup of water and a tablespoon of vegetable oil. And with the water and the vegetable oil, we're going to also be adding in several drops of the food coloring. And depending on how dark you want the color or how light you want it, go ahead and vary that however many drops you would like of that. But it would be probably at least 10, maybe 15 or 20. All right, next you're going to add in your dry ingredients. Again, we've got 1 cup of flour. We have 1/2 of a cup of salt and 2 teaspoons of our cream of tartar. Once we have all of those in the pot, we're going to turn it on warm and we will mix well all of our ingredients. All right, after you've got all of your ingredients mixed, you will cover at about a medium heat until it makes a large ball in the middle of it. And that's going to be approximately 3 minutes, depending on your stove, number of ingredients, and your way of stirring it. Okay, so once it's cooked and there's a ball in the center, you will take it out. Be careful because it is going to be hot, and you can put some wax paper on your countertop, maybe with a towel underneath it, and you will scrape all of it out. You've got your ball in the middle, and you will plop it down on the wax paper. Be careful because it's going to be hot. Your kids will not want to touch it yet. Let it cool for just a little bit, and then you can take the wax paper around the sides with a towel, and you can start kneading it together. It'll be a little crunchy and maybe a little drier on the outside, but as you knead it, it'll start making it soft. Once you've kneaded it and you realize that it's cool enough for your children to touch, you can take off a section of it and give it to them. Have them roll it into a ball, have it roll into a long worm or some little googly eyes you can put on the worm. There's all sorts of things you can create with the Play-Doh. But again, just having fun, just squeezing it and probably sitting at the kitchen table or at the high chair. But if they're 4 to 5, realistically, they'll be able to sit fine at the kitchen table. Um, it's something that can be vacuumed up. If they eat it, it's not going to make them sick, but you don't want to encourage that. There is, if you want an edible Play-Doh, Google that, but this isn't something that they would want to eat with all the salt in it and the dirty hands and such. But to store it, you would store it in a Tupperware container, or a lot of times I usually just use another baggie. And that way, when it gets old and dry, if you leave the bag open for some reason, you can just toss it out. All right, that's all the instructions and ingredients for now. Thanks so much for watching. If you would like more activities, check out our Tools for Motherhood website at toolsformotherhood.com. Happy learning!